Hey guys, Fistafari here. I want to wish you all a very happy Halloween today. I am so sorry the review took so long, or let alone to get out. I know that there's Awaken, I know there's other modes that came out, along with World Warships that I like to get my anger towards, because that is bullshit what they did there. But I'm going as thing. I wanted to go give you guys a nice little treat of me acting again, and also doing some other things here and there in the review. So I hope you sit back, enjoy the show. Like I said, I'll leave in the description to skip it, and I may leave it in Messenger for anyone who has a phone, so that way they can see, like, the actual skip thing. So that way you can see your personal tank, and plus a bonus thing at the end. What that might be, well, I guess you're gonna have to sit around and watch and find out. Until then, happy Halloween, ladies and gentlemen. World of Tanks, World of Warships, Warframe, all these season passes cross out. I'm seasoned to pass out. So I'm going to take a break. I think I'm going to take some rest before I do the next review. Let's see. Just set my timer thing. Yep. There we go. And I'm just going to take a little nap. Yes, I know it's during the day, but I just need a little cat nap.
Hello again, Fury.
What? Oh no.
Did you miss me?
Not you again.
Why do you always have to run?
I'm ready for you this time, Freddy.
Oh no, again! I'm so scared.
Shit.
Yeah, Prince of Nightmares. Hello, you're a sleeper. I can fucking take anything away from you.
Okay, look. I know why you're here. You want me to review Halloween tanks. Okay? And if I do good, I survive that whole deal all over again.
You got that.
I mean, fine. Just grab the controller. Let's just get this over with. Alright. So what are we reviewing? Like, there's only like a couple of tanks, right? We're talking about like probably 2 new Halloween tanks like they usually bring out.
Not exactly. Because now you will be doing 4 tanks.
We're reviewing 4 tanks.
One of them being a surprise to bring madness to you.
Okay, so 3 Halloween tanks and 1 special tank. Oh boy. Mm. There's a lot of hits and miss with this one, doesn't it? Enough to like say that it's the beautiful thing ever to only slap you across the face of how many bad are in this one. I'm not saying it's all bad. It's not. I mean, granted, there is so many versions of tanks out there that are worse than these, and I've seen a couple. I'm getting ahead of myself. I will explain in detail, but there's one in particular that's really bad, and you probably already know it from seeing the stats and stuff like that, but getting way off track. I'm just going to make this announcements really quick. You're probably wondering, where's the Fangula? Where's the Dreaded Dozer? The Hot Wheel Halloween. Well, let me explain. Basically, the reason why these 2 tanks exist right now is because they don't want to pay Wargaming, they don't want Wargaming to pay Hot Wheels. Well, the Fangula and the Dreaded Dozer are Hot Wheel vehicles. They don't want to keep paying it every Halloween for the rights. So what they did instead is brought out their own version again. So basically, you got like the dreaded dozer, the spider. Basically, I'm calling them that because I'm not gonna say their names. I can't really easily pronounce them in my tongue a little bit. Um, Basically, they're that type of tanks in the Halloween mode. We only got one unique tank in here that is really good, but also there's a lot of hit and misses with this. Like I just said in the beginning, a lot of slap in the face. But all jokes aside, let's just get into the review because we got a lot to do. So let's go, Freddy. Let's do this.
By all means, let us begin.
First tank we're gonna look at is oh god. Before I continue, I gotta explain something real quick. I don't like spiders in real life. I am what do they call it? Spider phobic. Yeah, I think it's spider phobic. But I'm not as bad as some people think. You think like I see a spider, I'll be like, oh no, run away. No, I'm more like this.
It's go time.
Yeah. I I mean, I'm not afraid 100% to them, but I will be the one that will show no mercy. The minute it's in front of me, I would stab it to death. That's who I am. So, let's talk about the thing. Oh, joyous day. So, you're probably wondering, Fury, this is uniquely good skin. I mean, look at it. It looks like an actual skin you could put on a tank. How much is the skin? This is not a skin. This is an actual tank that you actually play in multiplayer as looking like this. You heard me correctly. In multiplayer, where you face people on a daily basis, you can use this skin or use this tank in multiplayer. Why? So, in other words, Wargaming just created my number one nightmare of me driving around in my Lion tank because this is a tier 9. I'm driving around in my tier 8s, and I'm going to be seeing this thing charging at me with all his legs going like this towards me. No, 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 fuck that. It will burn on a crucifix, you fucking demon of spawn of little 8-legged mother frigger. You're probably wondering, oh, so it's an actual thing. So does that mean all those legs are considered spatial armaments, Fury? No, 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 no. This is just cosmetic look. The actual armor, surprisingly, if you pull up the actual stat paper, is mostly his rump. It's just this, guys, compared to looking at it from this point of view. See, like you see it right there, to that. That's your tank. So instead of going through all the lists real quick, because we got a lot of tanks to review today. Um, Bottom line is your whole armor is mediocre, but crap, like pure crap. And does somebody want to explain to me why the whole of the tank is the weak spot on the spider? I mean, that's like saying if you're trying to get rid of me, you shoot the chair, not directly at me. So that's kind of weird thinking about that, isn't it? How you kill this tank? It's like, don't shoot the spider that is so massive and big. Destroy his home. That will kill it. Weird. But the head armor is the only part that's good. Now imagine something that terrifying. Imagine you had to kill not only the spider, try to, but it's also bulletproof in the front. God, I'm ready to go to heaven or hell, whatever which way you put me if I had to deal with that in real life. That you would be seeing me with a flamethrower every day on my back. It'd be like, hey, Fury, ready to play Fallout 4? There's mutated spiders over there. I'll be like, purge the heretics. Unfortunately, though, for one spot that I have to talk about, because this is a really big problem, is the cheeks. Why do I say the cheeks, or in anyone's spider's case? Because if you actually look at the cheeks, it's the side of its face, but also his side of his badunkadunks.
Man, that spider has a huge hodunkadunk, a huge hungalongadonkus. I mean, a huge trunk. I mean, damn, that spider is thick.
The problem with that part of the armaments is if you look away, the tank will get pen by eights. Eights, mind you, eights. Because that's 190 millimeters. And yes, it could be rounded, but a tiger can pen up to 220 almost if you got the fucking fully upgraded Tiger 1. That is a huge problem. So you're right saying, okay, Fury, I won't expose my sides, but I'll just focus down that one tank. But do you hear yourself talking? I mean, what game are you playing again? World of Tanks? So, if you're focusing on one tank, what the fuck are the other 14 enemy players are doing?
Well, Eugene, I don't know. Maybe they're going out to get a sandwich. All 14 players. Or people just sitting back being for honor and letting you have honor. No. No, 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 no. This is like for honor. They ain't gonna let you do shit.
They're circling around you. They're trying to shoot you too. This is a huge problem. So, bottom line, do not expose your whole armor. Do not turn your head turret. If you keep the enemy in front of you looking straight at you, you can. But there is one weakness you could pen, and that's the top of the head. But the thing that's confusing people right now of shooting it on top of the head is the spider, because they think that head is going to, like, block the shell. But in reality, you can shoot through the head. I've actually tried it with a few friends on team training, and yeah, you could shoot through the head to hit the back part of where this symbol is on the back of his rump. So, yeah, do not think that this head has spatial armor. It's an illusion. So, be mindful that these legs, the head, of the eyeballs and the teeth are illusions. So, you're probably wondering, why am I going in so much depth about the armaments? Well, you'll see in a minute. So let's talk about the gun real quick. The only good thing about this a little bit. I mean, fire rate is like 8.28. I mean, 8.02, I meant to say. Accuracy is not that good. I mean, you got 0.31. It's not bad. I mean, hit points 320. Again, I'm gonna guess this is 120 mil because it fires the premium hash wake. If not for standard rounds, the standard rounds is like AP, but it also has hash and high explosives. So I'm gonna guess, even though you can't tell by the gun's name because it's named after the freaking tank autoloader. There's another problem Wargaming says. It's inaccurate. And it makes sense because when you shoot long range, it's sometimes your shells do not go in the direction you want to go. But unfortunately, though, this tank has a lot more problems than you think. So, penetration up to 100 meters is 239 millimeters a pen. So, up close and personal, not bad. Now, penetration at 500 meters, which is like, for those who don't know, that's 5 grids on a map. That is literally 226. So the more further you go out, it just negs it by, I would say, safely 15, which is not bad. I mean, I've seen tanks that drop significantly to 50, for fuck's sake. So sniping with this is really not bad if you're shooting medium tanks. Now, heavy tanks is an iffy. So it tells you the ammo type and capacity. So how many shells do you fire, Fury? Well, you fire 2. That's it. But before you say like 2, I don't want 2 shells. I'm sick and tired of it. Hold on. It has a 12.8-second reload if you have a good crew in it. That is the maximum you can go down without using the premium combat rigs, which I'm not putting it in a tier 9 because, again, if anyone who knows tier 9 premiums, they don't make money. They only have a 5% XP booster. Now, I'm not saying they don't make money, but I'm saying if compared to a tier 8 versus a tier 9, an 8 will make more because of its potential of how much money bonus it has compared to a 9 that doesn't have a bonus. So that's what I'm trying to get at. So aim time is really not bad too if you fix that as well with perks as well. And that's the key problem with this is fixing it. This tank, when you get it,
has a lot of problem. Like, for example, viewing range and concealment you see on the right side over here, that's not its actual range. I had to put binoculars, a 9 perk crew with binoculars as a skill perk, and Brother Arms Steel and Ventilations and concealment for concealment because of how much this tank can't see a broadside of a barn sometimes.
So wait a minute, you're telling me that spider can't see? It has 8 fucking eyes and you can't tell me it can't see anything? Guess 8 eyes means nothing in this universe.
So I had to focus heavily on every part. Like, this was a tank that was so hard to play in the beginning that I had to put my old commander vampire chick with 9 perks. I'm gonna repeat myself. This tank was so hard to play that I had to put a commander in here with 9 perks to make it average.
She's not even a bad looking bitch, is she?
Ugh. And another problem with it, 1,700 hit points. I know that's not like, I know a lot of tier 9s that don't have a lot of hit points, but this tank is huge. Huge. Look at it. It's a massive hit point. If anyone sees you on the side, they can pen you. Anyone that could see your whole armor can pen you. This is a massive hit point. It's like literally, if they shoot the front part of the spider, you're safe. But anywhere else on this fucking tank, because it's a tier 9 game, holy Hannah, you better pray to God that it doesn't pen. Let's talk about its ammunition costs, which most people want to know that because, again, it doesn't tell you that in when you look at it in the store, but it's safe to know this because if you want to make money, like if you want to make the delicious 85 million that I have up there, you want to, know how much you're going to spend shooting this damn gun. So we already talked about the AP. We already talked about penetration. We already talked about the damage. I roll like probably 290 easily if it's a heavy tank. If it's light armor, they could probably go up to 300 or 310. But just don't say like, oh, it shoots up to like does that much damage. No, I rarely don't see that. So we're gonna go down to this, but the cost of ammunition for one shell, and mind you, this is a two shooter. So it does 1,060. So that's like almost like 2,000 and something credits for 2 shots. That's not a problem. However, the premium round is because it's 4,400, but you do get heat, which is a penetration of 280 to 280 because it never loses its pen from a distance for anyone who knows heat. Heat, you'd never lose pen, but however, if it angles in a slight angle target tank, it doesn't really pen, can't go through tracks that well. So yeah, it's one of those shells that you got to be really hit something flat surface. But however, you do 320, same damage, same speed of your armor piercing, which is honestly funny because they're both the same speed, so that's not bad. However, though, it's 4,400 a shell, making a total of using 2 shells per clip, 8,080. That's a lot of silver for a 9. And how many times you fire this with a 15-second reload? That's a lot of money lost if you don't hit. And even if you do hit, you're going to make like very little at the end unless you complete an op or something. And then lastly, I'm going to say high explosives. Penetration at 100 meters is 60, and the same thing, 60. It does 420, and obviously high explosives is the thing that I usually don't pack in light tanks, like thin guns. I only pack them in dirt cannons or RDs killing them, or annoying people with 7 damage on a hill. Poor T-29 that day when I was at a tiger shooting its flat surface with an HE and doing like 11 damage. Obviously, I died from it, but it was funny just to ignore him, especially killing his crew. Um, so, sorry, back to the thing. So, splash radius also is 1.9. I wouldn't pack any in it. This tank only carries up so many shells, and you could go by really quick if you know what you're doing for a 12.5-second reload. Especially if you're the last one alive, you don't want to waste high explosives. You don't. Just don't pack any. Even if you do, it's 700, and freaking 65, but just don't. So, yeah, I know I went really quick, but again, we have a lot of tanks to review since this is a 4-tank review. So, alright, okay, folks, here we are on the battlefield. You have no idea how many times I have to play this tank. It is so... Let me explain. This video you're watching right now is the 200 battle I played in this tank. And I still can't be good in it. Why, you may say? Well, numerous of fucking reasons. One, that head turret, or if you want to go that buttocks, that badonkadonks, is a very huge problem. This tank is designed to literally versus one tank at a time, not multiple tanks. And the problem with that kind of scenario is if I turn slightly to the left, slightly to the right, 7s can pen me. So I have to be extremely careful protecting my turret. Also, hold turret, like the whole of the tank, you already know, pretty bad. So think of my frustration where you have to only show the smiter while protecting the fucking base of the smiter. So here I am trying to snipe, and this is where I say what they have is complete bullshit, because what they have on here, what they tell you to do, is supposed to just charge up, flank, and do all this thing, maneuver, and whatever. Which you could do in this tank. I'm not saying you can't. But for an auto-loader tank, yeah, you might want to stay as far back as problem, which is a big, huge problem, because, again, without accuracy perks, accuracy equipment, this tank sucks with accuracy. Now, as you can see here, I bounce, they hit the top of the spider. So, like I said, you're only supposed to show your spider. That's it. And here I am trying to play it, and I'm playing it different than most other spider players. Because I have 500 spotting range and 395, I was able to see the tanks without being detected a lot of times. Now you can see the light bulb and the little thing up there. Yeah, that goes off constantly. So it's like forcing me to do all this stuff. So, like, overall rating, like, I would say, like, I would give you the final verdict at the end, talking about it again. But you see, like, how I'm playing it? I'm sitting in the back sniping. I hit that, very good, and then I miss because of the freaking accuracy on this tank is garbage. But I'd rather take less accuracy than not seeing the tank. And wargaming, for the love of God, like, I'm gonna say this again, you need to stop making support role vehicle tanks with no good spotting. This is stupid. It's like, I'm trying my best to do a game, and I've been getting better and better with the tank. In the beginning, I was really awful, but this is a tank with 9 skill commanders. 9 skill unlocks. And I still had a problem keeping this tank alive. And even though the pros it's a very, very heavily armored turret, which thankfully that blocked, thanks for the tracks. But it's the problem is it's slow, it's fucking monotonous, the aim time is very, very hard sometimes. I was lucky to hit that on the move and then killed it. But these are, like, as you can notice, low tier tanks, because I just killed like an 8 and I killed like a 9. Honestly, in my opinion, I really think this tank should be a tier 8. Like, this tank needs a major buff. And I'm not saying it, like, if you're a professional player, I get it. You can make this tank deadly. It has potential. But if you don't have people to help you spot, your accuracy is going to be nerfed. It's like, literally, it's forcing you to say, okay, pick one side. Either you pick one with no spotting, no concealment, to get accuracy, reloading, etc., aim time, or do like I do, because I'm getting killed doing that way. Sitting in the back, keeping the enemy facing your strongest part, not charging at them, and able to, like, maneuver, countermeasure, and all that, and keep them steady, but also have horrible aim time and accuracy. Now, the aim time, like I said, is not too bad, but you do notice it when you fire your gun and you fire it again. You gotta wait for that reticle compared to, like, having the equipment piece. Oh, I love this part. So I'm trying to mimic the Halloween thing. I drive up to this tank. I'm like, oh my god, can I? Can I? And then, woo! Although in Halloween mode that would have done a lot of damage, but that extra layer of tracks underneath it really makes it effectual to crush people's tanks and stuff like that. And ugh, I hate spiders. Ugh, I hate looking at this thing. Ugh, I hate spiders. So, anyway, like, what you see here is the best I can do. I mean, I'm getting better at it as the time goes on, but it's just, this is a 9 per crew. I should be automatically know what the tank is. I know what the tank's playstyle is, flanking and sniping, but it just suffers so much of it needs help and stuff like that, and with the speed reduced and stuff, ugh. So I'm trying to shoot this light tank, and I barely missed it by a hair, and then game over. So that's not usually a good game to show off the potential of this tank, but again, I came into third place. Well, actually, no, again, like, it's not bad. It's just, it's a very, very, very hard play style of play, and I'll show you real quick showing this thing, and I came in third place, so, again, I must have did something right, because if I came into third place, like, that's gotta be something. So, yeah, let me show you the rewards real quick. So here's the rewards guides, and yeah, you can honestly tell it wasn't great. I mean, with premium, I made 42,000, without premium, 22,000. And that's because, again, I didn't do a lot of damage for a tier 9. I mean, you gotta expect that. It is a tier 9, so there is no silver booster, there's only like 5% of XP earnings, so that's a huge problem. And again, I was playing more chicken-like, and yes, I will say that probably chicken-like, because of how fragile this tank could be if you don't look in the right direction of this tank. So, I killed 2 tanks. I did 2,465, which is not a good amount of damage to a lot of people. With 10 direct hits, 506, I blocked 1,470. You can block a lot if you hold down, but people are going to be smart to load Hesh or fucking explosive, and your spider's going to be mush. So if we look at the medals real quick, yeah, I figured. 3rd Mastery Class badge. Again, there's people out there that's probably playing it way better than I do, but it's just so complicated for me to understand how this tank works. But again, it's just my choice of like how to keep this tank alive most of the time. So if you can honestly see on this leaderboard, there's me in 2nd place. Oh, I came in 2nd, not 3rd. My bad. 2nd place. So yeah, I must have did something good if I like did better than that tank and stuff. So yeah. So final verdict. So where do I begin with this? There's a lot of good, and there's also a lot of bad. And I'm not disking it as a really bad tank. Honestly, I think it's a lot of fun. But to me personally, but let's just recap real quick. Let's just count how many good there are. Okay, let's start off with the good. Gun, 2-shotter. Not bad. Aim time. It's okay when you have the perks. Reloading. Not bad if you got all the perks for reloading. It's really not a bad speed. It's mediocre. Head turret armor. Not bad for frontally. Alright, I think that's most of the goods. Bads. It's got horrible spotting range. Horrible concealment. It's got inaccurate shots at long range sometimes. It doesn't have good hull armor. It doesn't even... You turn slightly left, slightly right with the head turret, you're going to get penned by 8s. I mean, you see the problem here, audience? There's a lot more bad than there is good about this tank. And for the price of how much this thing costs in store, most people are going to get it because of the Halloween event. Because look at that, 15,200 gold for just the standard, and there's nothing good about the premium because equipment pieces, you can just get the gold, and they only give you 7 days of premium for this premium bullshit. Like, what the fuck, Wargaming? You're making us pay nearly up to 20,000 gold, which, mind you, if you guys don't know real quick, gold for 20,000 gold is almost close to $100. Yeah, no. That is, I don't understand how people find that fun or even able to get. I mean, yeah, I got smart and got the bundle deal to get all of them, so that way it's cheaper to get all 3 tanks instead of just buying the single. Just do a favor, really, guys. Just, if you're gonna get all the monsters, get this one. Because honestly, I know you don't want all the monsters, but 15,200 versus getting 3 tanks with 23,600. I mean, you're still going to pay almost close to $100 or $60, so might as well. But my point is, they don't even give you a lot in the prime. They don't even give you a lot in the floated, which only takes only 1,000 off almost, and then this just gives you the tank at the end. That is not. So let's go back to the tank garage real quick. So, and the other problem too, if you don't have a good commander in this tank, it's gonna be really hard to play this tank. I had to play this tank with 9 per. Now, is it better than the Fangula? Well, the Fangula is, well, it has a little bit more armor, but it still has the same problems as that tank. It's not that really, usefulness. But, however, I'll still say the Fangula is, not Fangula, I mean, this tank is pretty fun. I find enjoyment of it. Yes, in multiplayer, it kinda sucks. AI, on the other hand, it's kind of fun when you're actually shooting tanks sometimes, but I don't know. This tank may be for people that are really good at medium flanking, but I would not see anyone who wants to own a tank that can easily be flanked and hurt. Like, we're not talking a German tank, obviously. This is America, so if you angle it, you can still get pinned pretty easily in the turret if you don't be careful. The legs are not spatial armored, which that would be a fucking nightmare to anyone. Imagine you had to shoot this tank like right on the side, and all that legs are right there as spatial armor. That would be pretty terrifying to deal with. I would say 5.5 out of 10. The tank has some major problems. Major problems. I had to use a 9 per crew in order to enjoy or let alone get the full potential of this tank. You got like horrible spotting range sometimes. You got horrible speed. They force you to make an equipment piece for speed, which is utterly bullshit. Because honestly, you should not have to waste an equipment slot for getting speed and clutch braking. That is pathetic, wargaming. And to top it all that, it's a fun tank. Despite the fact of all the bullshit, it can be really a fun tank. But it's just, it suffers so much problems. There's better 9 mediums out there, guys. I mean, I just don't know about this one. Now, this might be a cult following of loving it because of it's an actual spider, or it's going to be one of those tanks that people are going to be really good only playing it. Who knows?
So, the Minotaur. I know it's not called that. I know I called the spider, and the other one this, and it's not the name of the tanks, but just hear me out. I'm just calling it as it is, and it's the fucking Minotaur. It's based off the Minotaur. But the thing I'm pissed off about, it's another dreaded bulldozer. Now, for those who don't know, and I will review it on its own term, dreaded bulldozer is an actual Halloween tank that is a medium. Makes sense? It's supposed to be protected with armor and stuff like that, and it's supposed to be like a medium hold down back row or slam into people vehicle. That's what it was purposely for. But unfortunately, this game does not show mercy when you do that. It's one of the, if far, one of the worst 8 mediums, and that's boldly for me to say, but I never see any of them on the battlefield. I've never seen anyone play them. And even if I did, they're usually dead in 5 seconds, or they're just a 3-star person. But I've never seen them. And for good intention reason, this tank had a lot of problems.
So the dreaded bulldozer has many problems? Well, ain't that a bitch?
So,
Can the Minotaur be better because, look at this, it's classified as a heavy tank. And would you look at that? It also has the face. Does that count as spatial armor? Does that do anything? Now let me show you. This tank is by creating a little thing right now on how it physically feels when you play this tank. Ah! Stop, please! No more, please! That's how you feel. The one thing that disappoints me the most about the armaments bit is the fact is there is no spatial armament for the head. What? Wargaming? Why? Why can't we have the Minotaur in front of the tank? It's not as bad as the Lion. You're not Lion, Jesus Christ. I mean, the Inferno, it's not as bad as the Inferno, so, or the Bellerophon. So why does this one not get spatial armaments? I understand the spider. The spider can be broken because if you hit its legs and fangs, you would be, blocking shit. Thankfully, that's not spatial armor. But here, I was kind of hoping the Minotaur's face would be spatial armor. But, however, it did change a couple of things on this tank, and that is the head turret is stronger, and thank you, Jesus God. The commander's hatch is 200 millimeters. Actually has a good chance of bouncing off shells from people. That is good. Because that was the hugest problem with the fucking Dreadbowser. I had to keep wiggling, keep moving back and forth because my weak spot was literally 75 millimeters or less, or more than that, or less than that, but it wasn't 200. So you were literally forcibly had to go back and forth, back and forth. Meanwhile, your reticle will never get a perfect shot. Here, you have a good chance. And I hate to say this, but that is mostly it. Despite the fact of an armor buff of the tank and having a more stronger bulldozer, there's really not much else to say. Besides the spatial armament of the thing, that is, well, just regular bulldozer armaments and some spatial here of the gasoline, the little engine in the front is spatial armor, and the fucking pipes. But that's it. That's it. That's all I could say is good. So I'm just gonna get out of the way. I just said all the good shit. Now let's talk about the bad shit, which is the majority of everything. Now you're probably wondering, Fury, what is bad about this? Like, why are you labeling it as bad of everything? Well, let's talk about the gun, which is a not good reloading gun. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the 90 mil gun. Even though I'm not 100% sure because you cannot see because it's the freaking Minotaur's axe. You don't even see the name of it. And it's got a long reload. It's got like almost 10-second reload. What? But it does a lot more damage, so I will give it this. It does like 360, so around like 320-ish, around like 340-ish I usually roll. So, okay, fair enough. I will let it slide. However, it's inaccurate as fuck. You try to shoot anyone between 500 meters, and the aim reticle is atrocious. The accuracy is atrocious. And I understand why they did that to a certain point, because this is a tank that's supposed to lead the charge and it's supposed to be a frontal brawler. But there's a difference between fantasy like that and reality of this tank. This tank can brawl, but it cannot brawl. Like, you have to understand what I'm saying, because from a Dread Dozer player, even with the few modification armor, you have to understand that the Dread Bulldozer can easily get flanked. This is a slow-moving tank, too. It just has no speed. But, however, penetration at 100 meters, for example, is 218. That is not good. So you can see where it's saying, like, when it goes to 500 meters, it's only 185. It's designed to brawl. That's all it does. It's designed to be a mid-range brawler. However, though, it just doesn't add up because anyone can flank this thing. You saw the armaments. It's weak on either side. So all you have to do is have one person easily flank you to the left, flank you to the right, and you can get just penning the whole armor really good. Now, hold downs, maybe you can get away with it, but the problem is you only get 200 millimeters in the commander's hatch, and Tigers can pen up a little bit more than that if they land a good shot. I mean, thankfully it's a little bit angled and rounded, but tier 9 guns are going to go right through it, even T-34s. So, yeah, so penetration not good. So you get standard AP, you got APCR and heat, and you carry like 28 rounds. So it's just, the problem is, it's just, if you got a gun that you have a hard time aiming, armor that relies heavily good at a little bit of a mid-range plus back, yeah, that's a big, huge problem. Especially when your concealment rating is 390. Now, I never put no equipment piece to it, no binoculars. So, and then my visible range is 396. So, the worst part about that is not only you got horrible concealment, but the time you see your tank, you're basically fucking spotted. Like, the problem I had with this tank so many times that pulled my hair out of my head because here's the bigger one. It plays to a tier 10.
I mean, are you fucking kidding me, Wargaming? Tier 10s? Really? Slow moving tank. Not bad. Only thing rely on armor. Gun accuracy really bad. And reloading is like long. And this plays into a tier 10? Seriously? Have they not learned a lesson from the Drendozer? It's like, imagine this, audience. Just picture this. Imagine you bought money on a lovely, cute animal. Like, beautiful kitten. Like a cute stuffed animal. Oh, I love you. You paid so much money. Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. And then Wargaming just comes around the corner and go like, "Arr, arr, arr, arr," and not give a shit about what you paid for, or not give a shit if you like the tank or hate the tank. That's how I feel. Sorry, Miss Mittens.
I thought I was the messed up one. Screen, 35 speed. It's got horrible hit points, 100 and 1,500. I've seen tier 8s with sometimes with higher hit points than that. Now, don't get me wrong, that's okay for a heavy tank, but you gotta think of the possibility of a tier 10, especially a Jagdpanzer 100. Death Star hits you right, you're just fucking, oh, you're just dead. And I get it, you're not supposed to get hit by them, but your concealment's so bad that you're gonna have to, regroup with your comrades. That's it. You can't go out fighting alone. You can't be a Duke of Brawler. You can't be a lone wolf. This is a tank. You have to have someone. And so, what is the single range? So, if it's that bad, well, your single range is 77.4 meters, which, again, this is a team player tank. So, the only way you're going to see better is you're in an allied tanks with people that can spot better, that can help you get your radar things. So, like the radar perk, like for the last one, Spider Tank, would be really fucking useful. But, all in all, I just hate this tank. You have no idea, guys. I mean, I played this tank for so long, for many years, and not this particular tank, but just the Dread Dozer. And they fixed one of the problems out of the many I have with it. One of them being in tier 10s with it. So, so let's go to the ammunition real quick so we can go right to the battle. AP, we already discussed all this. Max speed is 810. It's a single shot. It's 1,030. Ooh, it's a little bit more expensive than the Dread Dozer, but then again, this pen's a little bit more. So I carry the majority of this because again, it's your moneymaker shot because high explosive ain't gonna do shit. So, and then you got premium, which is supposed to be your tier 10 fighter. I carry 16, but look at the thing. 100 meters, 282. For 500 meters, 248. You see the problem here? So if you try to snipe with AP, you can only pen medium tanks. If you see a heavy in a distance, you have to load APCR. And with an inaccurate gun, mind you. So if you have no choice but to snipe, and you're sniping at a heavy, you're relying on this. But that's 4,000 credits you're wasting shooting at a tank far away with an inaccurate gun. Unless you got like me that fixed it with accuracy perks and stuff like that, and also not accuracy perks, but accuracy equipment, like for aim time and all that. But your speed is 1,100, and you do the same damage as AP. So yeah, it's not bad. But again, imagine trying to snipe with that. So heat
is, what do you expect? 60 millimeters of penetration on both things, 440 damage, same speed as the AP, well, not APCR, AP, and then a splash radius of 1.9 meters. So not a good splash radius. But then again, I don't pack any of that because again, there's really no point at the end of the day. You mean you're relying on AP or APCR. If you pack high explosives, either you're killing an arty or you're just trying to pin and annoy a E100 mouse or whatever to try to pin it with that crappy gun with that crappy pen. I mean, that's my only think of carrying that. So, yeah, and as you can see, I didn't follow the list of what it has. It was supposed to be speed and reloading, but here I fixed accuracy, reloading, and aim time because it just could not brawl. But, alright, let's get into the game. Okay, we're in a game, man. What else is there to say? I mean, I have played, you're seeing right now, the 25th battle. Now, I didn't mention in the spider one, when I say 200 battles, I mean like AI when I did it because it's not thrown in my records. I don't understand why. But this one will show it. But this is my 15th game in this, and oh boy, is it a bitch to keep alive. An absolute worst way to survive. They say they improve the armaments, but don't really show it. And it just sucks so much because this tank just has so many flaws. Like, I already said it just now, but God. So let's get in the game. Obviously, this tank is better described as an aggressor, but it needs help with its aim thing, like I just said, because the aim time is atrocious, accuracy is atrocious, speed is atrocious, but you have to sacrifice one or the other to do it. So I got accuracy, and good thing I did, because I hit that Cannon Yag Pensa 105, pretty much like tracked in and got the assist damage. Now, granted, I was pissed when I played this battle. I was getting sick and tired because I kept getting in tens. I kept on getting over thing. I kept getting killed by arties. I was so pissed. And a funny part was what ticked me over was the funny part was I was listening to music and I was listening to Sabaton and Hearts of Iron came on. Now mind you, I am German, so when that kicked on, I was like, oh no, I'm fucking not gonna be like being like dead and all this thing. Sorry, I'm stuttered because I've literally just got done with this battle. So yeah, so it's better frontally armor focus, which is what you're supposed to do. Commander's Hatch is a plus, but it just didn't fix the major problem what I had about the bulldozer. It was just it's not the armaments that was the problem. I mean, yeah, that did plays a key factor, but it's like one solid card that knocks the whole entire thing over. Yeah, it's one strong card, but the whole deck's gonna fall right over. It's just it's pathetically bad. And once again, Wargaming, why the hell are we getting in this in tier 10s? I'm going to make this perfectly clear as you're watching this battle right now. Stop putting 90 mils guns on Americans like tanks. Like, this is German, but it's American. Stop putting them in tier 10. And I don't know what the hell was this light tank doing, but I'm serious. Like, stop putting them in tier 10s. I am sick and tired of being bullied every time I play. Can we just have one plus minus one like you do in ships? Like, why is that such a hard time? So as you can see here, I'm showing a good game, but this is where I was steaming with anger, steaming with all this, being aggressive, not caring. I see this tiger charging at me. I should feel sad for hitting it a lot, but I was like, fuck it. Get the hell away from me because I'm done with this game. I'm done with you. I'm done with this tank. I don't know why this tank has to be in tier 10s and it doesn't even give you the bowl as armor like I just said. It doesn't even give you the armaments like the bowl. If it did, this would be a perfect hold down tank with a frontal turret. That would have been awesome. But no, it has to be freaking this. And I just don't understand. And I don't know why he was shooting my bulldozer part because this thing has reinforced armor.
So I just don't understand. And this is the last tank thing, but it's just, it peeves me so much that these tanks are still being suffered. This tank could have been good. It could have been. I came close to playing this in AI. That's how bad it was getting. But it was just tier 10 this, tier 10 that. And God! So let me show you the freaking reward I got. Before we show the reward real quick, just to prove you that I did good in that game, instead of like dying so many times, there you go. MVP. Fucking killed 2 tanks, did like minimum damage you would expect from a tier 7, not an 8. It's just God. Let me show you the reward. I'm calming down, audience. Let me concentrate. Sorry. Just that took a lot out of me to do that last video, and I just did not want to lose that footage because I was just getting so sick and tired. So, yeah, I made like a lot of credits. This thing makes a lot of money if you play it as it is. And yeah, if you got a fully max 9 per crew, which this one didn't this time, you could probably do way better. But I was just getting in 10s and... Okay, let me concentrate, sorry. So, I would have made 76,000. With premium, I made 124,000. That's a lot for an 8. I mean, it's not bad. XP wise, it's not bad. Free XP, etc. And then crew commanders, I had no boosters or nothing. So that must have been the Halloween thing because like they get the ×2 event going on. So there's damage, there's that. Let's look at medals real quick, and oh my god, I almost got mastery. I almost got mastery. Oh, that means one guy got so lucky doing like probably 3,500 damage with this tank to get a mastery badge. Oh, and I got a sniper medal because I was actually fucking so hard concentrating. You definitely need to fix your gun, like with your equipment pieces. I don't care if you can't see or nothing. This is a tank that needs to have its gun fixed. It's so inaccurate. Oh, so, yeah, God. And there I am on the top leaderboard. So, final verdict. So, final verdict on the Minotaur. Minotaur wannabe. I mean, this is the biggest piece of shit I've played in a long time. Don't get me wrong. I have played the, the dreaded Dozer. I have played the M48 Panzer Ram Panzer. And I understand that they're not armored enough to protect them. I get that. But here, they just fix one fucking problem and gave it armor, but then never address what was the other problems. People can tolerate tanks with no armor, but however, if you bring a tank in that can't handle its gun, but only fix the commander's hatch and some armor everywhere, what is the point at the end of the day? You have to fucking audience, you have to see what I'm saying. Like, this tank is so bad that it requires you to sacrifice 2 things as fixing 3 things. You have to either sacrifice your speed to fix whatever, you have to sacrifice your aim time to fix whatever, and you gotta sacrifice your reloading. And by the way, why in the hell, and I'm saying this again, why in the hell is this 90 mil have a long reload? This just reminds me so much of the Tiger Porsche. Same gun from a tier 7, but yet, even because it has armaments, let's make the reloading twice as long. It's like, that defeats the whole purpose and logic of that tank. And it just irks me so much about that. And not to mention, too, why is the Minotaur's head not spatial armor? That would have been the selling point right there, Wargame, despite everything I said that was bad about it. If you actually put spatial armaments on the bull, people can lift their turret up like you see on screen and block the commander's hatch, meaning the head turret would be so protected it wouldn't be funny. Or aim the gun down to protect the neck ring, which is also another problem again. That would have fixed so much problems for people to play this tank. But no, they instead, it just looks like the spider. It just looks, and it's just, God! I mean,
What do you want me to say? The only thing good that it just has additional armor? What would he fucking do? I could play the Dread Dozer and I could still fucking hit shit. I could still play the other one and I can move faster. This. Okay, calm down. Calm down. I've already yelled enough about this tank, but I wouldn't be yelling too much if it was free. This is not a free tank. If it comes out next year and it's free for you guys and you want it, fine. But for the love of fuck, I don't pay it like I have to, like doing a tank review. Like, how much does this thing cost? I already showed the spider thing. I gotta look and see, just to see how much they're asking for this piece of shit, in my opinion. Okay, at least the price is reasonable. 7,100. Okay, I have to admit that is better. But you see what I mean? They actually make you use speed, this, and the reloading, which makes sense because wargaming. Because wargaming's like, let's give it a long reload because it has armor. No, that's not a good idea for a good tank. That's the opposite. If it can't aim in and it has to use that equipment for accuracy, what you're just making a faster reloading gun. They can't hit shit. And yes, you gotta brawl with it. Wargaming, do you know the difference? Like, have you played your own game, Wargaming? Like, I want to know in the comments, does Wargaming ever play their games? Like, I'm serious. Do they ever play a low tier tank and just expect that it would do its job by the shitty things that it has, let alone people can pen still 200 millimeters? I mean, have you forgot about the tier 9 guns? And yes, I get it, they have to give it a weak spot. But still, I mean, if you're gonna handicap me that much with accuracy and everything else, just no. Final verdict is a 4.5 out of 10. You can criticize me and yell at me all you want. You may have the tank and like it. Good. Good for you. But for the rest of us that just got the tank and don't have a crew to spare and have to train it up, this is more horse shit than the spider. But at least the spider has creativity. If you fix it, if you play it right, you could have fun. But even though that had 9 perks to fix it, that's still bullshit. Here, you got a tank that has to have that commander set again. Can there be one tank where you can enjoy playing it without fixing anything? Just, good God. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it makes money, it does its job. Whoopity fucking do, but I would rather, if this motherfucking tank had pref matchmaking, I would not be angry at it. But it doesn't. It plays up to 10s. And that's what pisses me off the most. Not only having horrible accuracy, horrible thing, and just fucking horrible everything, speed, everything, survivability against Artie and all that. It's so fucking stupid that this is okay to be in a tier 10 game. Are you fucking high, Wargaming? I can't take no more.
Oh my god. Oh my god. They actually brought out a good one. Huzzah! Yes! I mean, for you audience, you'd probably be wondering, what? Fury? I mean, why are you celebrating? Well, just like in the last tank part we just reviewed with the bulldozer, I'm like, can any of them be good? This is actually not bad. This is a heavy tank's dream tank. For those who don't know, this is the death carriage. Basically, it's, the Halloween tank, but what is it based off, Fury? Like, what is the tank it's ripping off? Well, the reason why I'm happy, it's because it's the 112. Now, if you those who don't know, if I review this tank and don't know what I'm talking about, the 112, there's 2 marks to prove it. I've experienced so much shit, but also experienced fun games in this tank. It's a love and hate relationship with this tank. And we're going to dive right into it right now to show the things I like about it and things I don't like. Now, the first thing you notice before we go scrambling back and forth, the pens are way different. Like, this is 175 for its standard pen, but it does 390. But if you look at the death carrot, it's 208, which is like 460 damage, which is, yeesh, that is a good amount of damage. That's good. That's good. It gave me more pen. That is beautifully good. But, as you can see on the bottom of the frickin' screen, it plays into tier 10s.
You know, I've said it so many times, Wargaming. I'm just going to show you an image of me saying that this needs to not be in a premium matchmaking. And to drive the point, I think you get what I'm saying.
The reason why I love the 112 so much, because it only plays up to a tier 9 game. One tier higher. Now that may be because of the gun itself. I don't know. But it's really one of those things that I irk so much that I'm sick and tired of having tanks in tier 10s. However, though, the gun pen it has and the damage it does, I find it okay being in tier 10s, but not like... Okay, let me give this example real quick before we get started right in the armaments. I don't mind this playing into tier 10s like a lot of people are having problems with it, because I know it's playstyle, heavily playstyle, and I'll show you when we get into the game, but the armaments and stuff actually make sense to block stuff, but not everything. I get it. But then again, that is tanks. Tanks always have a key element to where someone has to be stronger than you, so you have to learn to counterbalance over it. But I just wanted to say that aside. So in case you're wondering too, also that you just noticed on the screen, yes, that's not the name of the Reaper you get. That is my friend Fear Reaper. I named this commander based off him in respect. So Reaper, if you're watching this, I hope this commander gives you much respect as much as I respect you as a friend. Alright, so all that aside, I just wanted to say all that. Let's just get right into it and just review this. And this might as well be a 112 review because the armaments for this tank is actually the same as the 112. It is a very monstrous tank. Now, I'm not going to review all of it, but let's just say this. The underbelly is the weak spot. This thing gets pen underbelly a lot, so you don't want to get this in the open. However, the top part, which is the real, let me get a good angle, the real heavy slope part of this tank is really good. You get bounced tier 9s. I've even bounced off tier 10 guns. If they fire AP at you, it bounces it off pretty damn good. But the other key factor is that commander's hatch. If you get this on a flat surface hold down, look at all that red. Look at all that red. That is beautiful. Beautiful. And as for the commander's hatch, it is literally strong as well. You would think, oh, they stick out, so they'll be a lot stronger. Yeah, it's 150 millimeters, but you gotta understand, it's rounded and it's small. So if you play this like a mid-range fighting brawler, that's gonna be hard to hit. Not only that, the head turret is not like flat like the Soviet Union's. It's actually bulky. So a chance of hitting them, you have to be a real sharpshooter, over extreme penner, or you got lucky, because that's one very hard commander's hatch. For me's experience at 2 mark this tank, yeah, it really is not good. Now, granted, everybody's going to be like, Fury, wasn't the 112 really bad back in the day? This is the reason why I'm respected when it comes to the 112 being 2 marked. Yes, it's not 3 marked, but yeah, the armaments weren't that good. It was only the head turret, and having a small tank with a big, huge body was a problem. Because the other problem you have, minus the spatial armor on the side of your tank that actually could block some AP, this thing gets easily ammo racked. Like, really, really bad. Like, you could get hit with an AP on any side and it will get ammo racked. Why? Well, if you look at the modules, as you can see on the tank, the entire front of the tank is freaking so much ammo from the head turret around it to anything. So if you get flanked by slightly to the left, slightly to the right, angling it like this, and they pen right through you, it's going to hit your ammo rack. And it always does. And it's such a pain in the ass when you're dealing with a big boomstick cannon that it's just really hard to do anything to protect that ammo. And also another problem for anyone who has owned the 112, or if you're just interested in this, since might as well be this 112 review armor, this thing gets caught on fire easily because it's a flat deck. I mean, look at the armament. You got a very, very weak back half, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. So if an arty or anything high explosive, HE or something, has a good chance of setting this thing on fire. So that's a big problem with the armaments as well. So bottom line is, only show the front like Wargaming says. Only expose your head turret slightly. Do not get flanked left or right. And for the love of God, do not go up against tanks that fire derp guns like high explosives and heat. They're going to hurt you pretty bad. So, bottom line, just know your tank you're fighting against, know that what type of caliber gun they have, and outsmart them with this. Now, is there some negative about the guns? Well, one thing for sure, I don't even know if it's a 122. It acts like a 130, but correct me if I'm wrong, audience, but I'm just saying it acts like a 130, but not a tank destroyer gun. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's a 112, but they made the barrel thicker, because how the heck is a 122 from the 122 premium have a smaller gun, but it's a 122, and just here it just has the same gun, but yet somehow does better damage. I don't know. I really do not know. So, anyway, firing rate. This is one of the biggest problem with the 112. Unlike the 112, you can make the reloading okay, but it's long. But it's the same thing as this Reaper. It has a long reload. Almost like 10 seconds if you got a good crew in it. And that's a huge problem because long reloads, it's going to thing, but it does make it up with the damage, so I'm going to let that slide. But in situations where you have to fight against multiple tanks, like say for example you have two and you're the only one there, yeah, you're going to get steamrolled really bad. And that's the biggest problem. It's like you don't want to go. It's designed to be aggressive, but it's mid-range aggressive. You don't want to like go right up to the front lines and hug an enemy in the face. No, you want to stay mid-range with some people around you, so the enemy don't be stupid enough to charge you. That's how it plays. So aim time is, I mean, it's not too bad, but it's bad enough, audience. It's, it acts like a 112. 122. Sorry. Sniping you could probably do if you're dealing with light armor vehicles, not really against heavies. I mean, if you got a heavy that's light armor and you can hit it, that's fine. But if you're dealing with a hold down, good tank, like for example a King Tiger, and you're shooting normal rounds at it, you can see on the stats paper where it says penetration at 100 meters is 208. That is great, but look at the difference when you shoot 5 grids over 188. That is not good. That is almost a 90 mil, small 90 mil of a tier 7 penetration. And that's, like I said, snipe. You don't want to ever snipe in this. You could with some fixes, but it's like, it's one of those tanks that, yeah, you don't want to, waste your time aiming in on a weak spot where it's sometimes an anchor and try to hit stuff. Yeah, that's no good for this. Now, it obviously fires AP, heat, and high explosives. Again, 112 did that too. So, on the other side of the stats, you're probably wondering, well, okay, viewing range is 404. Is that because of the Reaper tank? Well, no, because if you look at the skill perks, he got reloading, brothers in arms, which could affect it a little bit, sixth sense, and aim time. So, no, there's no binoculars in this, so it's literally like, I would say 399. So it's like the same thing as your concealment. And no, there is no concealment on it. No skill for concealment. That is the exact thing you get. Besides, the ventilations that make your crew better. So it decreases it a little bit. So, yeah, that's how it works. Now, single range is only 638.70 meters. So, again, it's not designed to snipe that much. Like I said that many times, but I've seen so many people that sit 7 or 8 grids back and trying to snipe with it. You can't. The pen goes really bad unless you fire the premiums, which we'll get to that in a minute. But still, it's still a 50-50. So all that aside, let's just talk about the commander really quick. And this comes with the commander if you buy the other thing. And honestly, I'm not going to go into too details of it, but he looks not bad. I'd like to know what happened to his legs. I mean, that's gotta suck floating around everywhere. So, for his detail and art, I'm just going to say really quick, it's not bad. I mean, it looks good. So, back to the tank real quick. So now let's talk about its ammunition, so we can go straight into the game. Now, we already talked about its damage and its AP and how distance. The smack speed is on, 800. So, again, it takes a while to get to the target, not as fast as most shells. Now, however, this is the one I was talking about that could use for sniping, but I really don't recommend it, but it is a possibility, is the premium heat. It is like 5,060 credits to fire one of these. God, that is just a slap in the face of how much money lost that is. But penetration for, both of them is 250, from being 500 meters to 100 meters. So most people switch that out to snipe it out better. But again, if you don't know heat, heat is a type of shell that has to hit the target in a flat surface or something light. You can't shoot heavily armored angles with this because it's just going to ricochet off. So that is the hugest problem I have with it, because it's like you can't really hit an angled tank, and most tanks 8, 9s, and 10s have something angled unless you're fighting a type 4 that is on its broadside. So I wouldn't recommend like sniping heavily, and unless you do accuracy perks and accuracy all this, but it still has a good chance of missing. I just be careful when you use it. That's all I gotta say. The speed is even worse than the AP, where the AP is like 800. So okay, that's perfect speed. But here it's like 640. So you have to time it by -10 of the speed of the distance you have to fire in order to it fly over to hit someone if you're sniping. So yeah, you gotta have to time the son of a bitch. And lastly, the shells I pack sometimes and don't is high explosives. This is 608 credits to fire one shell. Now, granted, I can understand why people will pack it. It's a 122 or 130, whatever the heck this gun is. I mean, yes, it won't do a lot of damage to heavy tanks, but if they're hull down, this is the best shell you can have to annoy them. If you're both in a good position, hold down, far enough range where you can't pen one another, having high explosives would help you turn the tide of battle a little bit. Because why? High explosives can kill their crew when they hit the tank. High explosive can damage them even if they're in the strongest part of the fucking tank. Now, granted, yes, it's a long reload, and it doesn't do a lot of pen because it's 61 millimeters of armor, and you're only going to do, like, very minimum to people. But think about this. Would you rather be doing damage and hitting the tank, even if it's low, just to harm their crew, a chance to harm the crew, set on fire, an ammo rack, whatever? Or would you try to spend so much money to get the max pen, but you still have to hit some flat spots, which is ridiculous. So, yeah, I can understand people carrying this. I don't, because I don't snipe with the damn thing. I usually go with people in frontal brawl. That all being aside, let's go in the game to show you two things. One that will show you how to play the tank correctly, and how you don't. So here we are in the Death Chariot. Now, I have to say, out of all the Halloween tanks, this one I was heavily interested in. Obviously, you already tell by my excitement from the beginning of this part of the thing. It's like 112, so this video is going to show you what to do and not to do, because honestly, I did two things in this video that what you're not supposed to do, and things that you are supposed to do. And some of it's not my fault, but so playing this tank, it's sad that it plays in the tier 10s like I've already said, and it's really dumb that it does that. But to me personally, I mean, I've survived a lot of games in tier 10s with this. Just hold down and just shoot the people when their weak spots exposed. Don't get too cocky and all that. It, like, it plays so much like a 112. So if you like the 112 but want a better penning gun, then yeah, this will be it. Just the only thing that sucks is you won't have pref matchmaking. Now you see what I'm doing? I'm trying to find a nice hill up here, pretty much to hold down. Now this is a pretty important thing. Now unfortunately though, a couple of the 3 shots I'm going to miss because, well, again, if you know the accuracy of the gun already, it's not that good. So here I am aiming in, trying to hit the weak spot, flew right over him. Yeah, this tank is not really good for sniping. But again, in this situation, mid-range fighting is the only best thing you can do. But here's why I wanted to hold down like this. Here comes the Ferdinand. Now, I don't know why this T-54 was just sitting there. I'm like, dude, pull back, pull back. So I was looking at him and was like, dude, pull back. He had no broken engine. And then, see, I was saying it right there, and he didn't pull back. Guys, if you're driving a T-54, just don't drive out in the open like that. That's just dumb. Never do that. So here I am shot, and I shot the Ferdinand underneath its belly. But do you see the problem they're having? See, the Ferdinand's going to shoot me. See? That head turret is so massively beautiful that I love it so much. It's one of my most, like I said, it's one of my most favorite Chinese tank out there. I mean, it has fucking armaments. I don't know why people give it so much shit. I mean, I get it. Yeah, 112 back in the day when they nerfed it to nothing. Yeah, that was a real shit show. But here, it's like they give you a better gun, and you can hold down the same way. So, yeah. So, this is how you're supposed to play the 112. Stay in mid-range, don't get too cocky, and just shoot people from a good distance, but not far distance. Now, here I am pushing up because the Ferdinand's being distracted, so I'm driving up, and T-29's there, but then I shot that tank destroyer, but surprisingly, lo and behold, if I pause it for a minute, the bar shot me with AP. And I'm thinking to myself, what? And even the weirder part is, he hit my tracks. So I got extremely lucky because I don't even know what gun he has. Hang on, let me go take a look real quick. Just come join me, audience. Over here, what gun do you have? Oh, God. That's the final upgrade on the bar. He would have done 1,000 to me if I wasn't careful. Good grief. So I did the smart move after I got hit, and I just pull back, not to get hit. And then I get shot in tracks again by the stone call. So I was like, okay, either they're having a horrible time accuracy like I did in the beginning. I basically got lucky. So now I'm shooting away, I'm doing a good game, holding the distance, not getting cocky. Always remember that in this tank. Never ever get cocky, especially someone who 2-marked this type of tank armaments. Never get cocky in it. So I'm waiting for my team to flank around it because we were winning the north side. We're getting around the other side, and I'm pushing up here now. I could have made a big mistake with the bar, but thankfully the bar wasn't looking. But I killed the Stone Cold. Beautiful kill to get rid of him. It sucks though because he only gets 2 shots and he has to wait an eternity. So he probably was just loaded when he saw me come around the corner. I mean, poor guy. Trust me, I know the feeling, buddy. I just played the Spider not too long ago. So here I am shooting again, got another kill, but again, not much health. That's the problem I don't like about the tank, obviously. Long reload. It's just so hard to get, like, you can get kills, but, like, to do full-fledged damage, it's very freaking hard to do that in this tank. Really hard to do that. So here I am driving along, still driving the thing, and then, oh, there's the bar. And then I fired and couldn't pen it. Now, in case you're wondering, the game volume accidentally was turned on during this recording and I lost the replay thing, so forgive me if the game volume is more higher than me. I'm trying my best to fix it, but forgive me for that. I forgot to mute the game down volume just a little bit. So here we go. I'm driving away because I'm getting sniped at because one of the tanks that I was afraid of is the Cobra, the medium British. And, oh God, that tank is ridiculously in its own right. So here I am trying to drive, trying to keep things. I thought the medium tanks had it, but I didn't look at their health bar. I was looking at the side, I was looking at the thing, but they were almost dead. Now, here's the problem. Here, let's pause this for a minute. Let's just look at their situation really quick. If you have a low amount of hit points and you don't know where the heavy tank is, they don't see the heavy tank. This is just showing on screen what the enemy sees and we see. If you haven't seen the T-29 in the entire game, why are you pushing a hill? Like, this is the biggest problem. Like, why push a hill when you have no health whatsoever? Why are you pushing a hill? Wouldn't it make more sense to hide out there and pretty much lure him down or go back to the base and defend? Because he only has two options after that. Either he comes after and kills us, or he has to go cap our base. This is stupid for tank players to just go up here and just get slaughtered. That's why I hate this map so much. Anyone who has this hill on this side at D7 all the way down to H, there is no point getting up there unless you have a fast, agile tank with full health. Never attempt to attack the hill with low HP tanks. These are low health tanks charging up the hill. It's just, this is so dumb. You dang Swedish. Like, this is the reason why we also lost this game. Yeah, I spoiled it. We did lose this game, but I just wanted to show you the goods and bads about this tank. But look at all that. Like, even our tank destroyer is going up there. Why? Why are you going up there? You have no health. It's just people. What the hell? So we lost him to the freaking tank. Obviously, no brainer. We lost the Indian Panther. We lost the S-51 to the other tank on the other side. I'm following the Fatherland, thinking maybe because, like, okay, we had this wrapped up, so I'm driving with him to secure a location, so that way we get this guy behind us so he won't camp the base if we won. Like I said, I was dumb to rely on blueies, because as soon as we got over here to see the tank, all of the tanks on that side were dead. They were just gone. It's a really sad day when you... This is why in history it's been proven to never attack anyone when they're hold down defense position. You make them come out. Make them face your terms. Don't go after the enemy. So here I am driving with the Fatherland, and this is another thing you don't want to do with death. You don't want to be exposed on all sides. But this is why I'm trying to use the environment as much as possible with this tank. And it's just... And then after a while, when I saw the tank destroyer and all them die, I was like, oh my god, are you serious? How did we lose all that? Until now seeing this replay, it makes sense. Because I'm looking over going like, how did we lose all those tanks? So now the Utis kills that one, and now it's just me and the Fatherland. So I'm like, okay, we could still get this. We could still get this. I tried to shoot him when he was on the move, but damn shell flew over him because, you know, these guns are not exactly accurate, but I understand because you need a lot of perks to do it. So I'm here, I'm going to drive up to try to shoot him, try to hit him, but this is the mistake you do. I got too cocky, so I try to get up and fire him, and then bang, got hit with the freaking British tank. Lost a lot of health equipment, but I fixed it and repaired it. So now I'm facing my tank towards the motherfucker. Made him miss. So yeah, I'm just trying to keep myself alive. Meanwhile, the Fatherland is still alive. I don't... Where is he on the mini-map? Hang on. Press Y real quick. Oh, he's right behind me. So, we're both behind each other trying to figure out what to do. I couldn't talk to him. He was a PlayStation player and he got his thing head off and I didn't have my headset. So, hear me out. This is my strategy right now. We know that tank is up there, has the high ground. The best advantage you can do. We are two tanks that have no gun to pressure nothing. Meanwhile, there's a medium tank way back there. Hold on. So would you rather A, attack the hill and risk your ass being exposed? B, attack the medium behind you and risk getting shot by the freaking the Cobra? Or C, run over here as fast as possible using the hill to block the enemy shells from hitting you from the hill by sitting right here and keeping the medium in one or two directions so that way you can kill it. Well, choice was obvious. I went with C. Because, again, for all those tankers who know how to play their tanks, going after these two is a nightmare. The only way to do it is to flush it out. And thankfully, was I first thought, the Fatherland, I thought he got what I was saying, because I was going right to the base, and I'm trying to figure out where he is now. I don't know why it's not showing me. There he is. So, we're going way over here, so I'm going right to the base, and using, as intelligently, since I know where he is, right on this side to keep my other side exposed. Like, see? Look, right here. So, I'm keeping myself in the water right here, using the mountain to protect myself from snipers on this side by backing up in the tightest corner as I could. That's smart to do. However, that's not how it played out for us, because the freaking idiot Fatherland thought it was smart to cap the base on this side of the map. Be on this side of the map. Knowing that he can't hit the tank very easily on the hill, or can easily be flanked by the medium in any direction, and a tank that has the high ground. This is an Obi-Wan quote that I'm saying right now. You do not attack the high ground. You do not attempt to shoot people on the high ground unless you have an overpenning gun. And in this case, he's not accurate. The Fatherland is not that accurate. So, you'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. Watch. Just watch. If I could turn back on the... Hang on. Pause it. Okay. No. God damn it. Sorry. There. So, you see right there. I try to shoot the Cobra. I bounce because I hit the head turret. I'm trying to aim for it again to try to kill it, but it ran away as soon as I fired. Meanwhile, this is what exactly I'm talking about. He's getting shot by the medium on that side. So he's like, okay, I'm going to hide over here. Then he gets ammo ranked. This, if he did what I did, we would have been butt to butt next to each other and hold down in a good position to where we could spot. Now he's getting shot, see, right there. See what I'm talking about, audience? See where I'm hiding right here, making this medium tank on the hill a living hell? He decides to go over here, getting shot at by two sides. Instead of being smart to make him come over here, and make him lose the high ground. So, that being said, the game is already lost. I can't fight the British tank and that. So I got pinned in the track because he was in a good position, but now he's on the reload, so I'm backing up, trying to get away from him. See, this is what my plan is, to hold down right here to where our highly armors like used, but instead he went over there to get killed. And even though if he made it over here, he could have went right here on the rocks to prevent him from shooting until we see him. But nope, that's not the case. Now, of course, I'm blind as a bat because these tanks are not designed to see very far, so I'm trying to keep an eye on that British tank. Then all of a sudden I saw that one. I tried to blind fire, and then Wargaming made me shot through it, even though on screen it was shooting above them. And I said, well, this is my game, so I'm going to get at least one more shot in. So basically, yep, and there's my last shot. So he's flanking around me. Yep, this is a game over. This is a nightmare for a 112 to deal with. It's done. There was nothing else to do. It was game over right there then. If the Fatherland saw what I was doing and using the mountain, a little bit of the sand to cover as much armor as I can to protect myself while the medium getting shot at by us, we could have had a somewhat chance. Now, I'm not saying it's a great because we don't have good visibility, but we could have had a good chance instead of just dying like that. So, it still would have been a bad game, but at least common sense would have been there instead of just driving right there, getting shot from the hill and shot over there. So, it is what it is. So, let me show you the reward. So, here's the reward. Now, as you can see, it was defeat, so we didn't make a lot of money, and obviously, I fired 2 heat rounds to try to pen the Ferdinand that was hold down. And plus, we got a new commander perk that you just saw now. So,
Yeah, so I destroyed 3 tanks, which were low on health, which sadly there wasn't. Did 2,161 damage, and I blocked 2,520. This is why I said this is a hold down support heavy tank. It's designed to be this way, and it's beautifully if you have a good game, but some cases you can't teach everybody how to play tanks or see the you know advantage you can have over your opponent if you actually get them out of that corner. So for medals, I didn't get mastery thing because a lot of people do better in this tank. This tank is now one of the most popular tanks right now, and it's good for good reasons. It's not a bad tank. But where I am in the leaderboard, second place. So even though Cobra did a lot of damage, but I think it's because nobody bothered him in the hill and he was just shooting people like left and right. I saw him, he was shooting premium, and God, that's going to be a lot of money lost. Or maybe he gained money because he was on the top. Who knows? To me personally, I that's a lot of money lost to me. But still, it wasn't bad. It showed how the potential the tank could be hold down and actually doing damage. And also you don't want to do when you're in a multiplayer game. So, yeah, final verdict. So, final verdict on Death itself. Now, granted, it's not a bad tank. It really isn't. But I can understand why a lot of people wouldn't like this type of playstyle. If you're going to have it like a long time aim time gun, they want to drive like a T-34 hold down and derp some people, or a KV-2 or a creature. I understand that. But you gotta give some respect to the 112. I know 112 back in the day was pure shit. A lot of people hated it. A lot of people. But ever since when it got that buff, it was really not bad. Honestly, it's one of my favorite heavy premium matchmaking tanks. I liked it a lot. But I understand why not many people would like it. So, granted, in the store, I think it's complete bullshit, because if we look at the store real quick, yeah, you get the cheapest one, which I think that's fair for just Death itself's vehicle. But if you want the Commander, they just put 3,300 on the damn price tag and said now you have to pay 14,100. That I do not like. Like, that is stupid. Yes, it gives you 7 days of premium. Yes, it gives you boosters and, XP for vehicle boosters. I get that. But however, it still doesn't face the fact that it's one tank, one commander, 7 days of premium. If it said like, I don't know, 3 weeks worth of premiums, I wouldn't mind it. For that price, okay. That's fair. You get a month of premium, fine. For people that are new, that would be good. But here, when they go up in price, they give you the equipment pieces and still 7 days of premium. What the fuck? I mean, I know I had a problem with premium before back in the day, but now I realize I miss the whole giving you a month's of premium. Hell, if anyone remembers, let's recap for just a minute, just really quick for this, and I'll get back to this. Do you all remember the time where when you got a premium tank, and this is us veterans, do you remember the time when you had a premium tank, there was an op that came out, a op for that tank, and you had to play that tank you bought to get an additional awards like silver, more premium days, more commander XP, and you had to complete all these ops. I've missed those days. I miss those days when you pick a tank and get it, and then you get additional awards. I miss that a lot. But no, it's freaking stupid that now you get a tank and you get all this, but still, you're gonna burn through these really quick. You're only gonna have 7 days. That's a week. So if you have something going on, you ain't gonna be here for a week. Um, just dumb. So let's go back to the tank really quick. So obviously, I have a long history with the 112. It's a lot of hair pulling hairs out of my head and a lot of fun times. So, still pretty awful how slow it is, how clutch braking is. I don't like the fact that you still have to use an equipment piece to fix the speed. I refuse to put that on any of my Halloween tanks because of how bad the other parts are, and I want to fix them instead. So that's freaking stupid how they had to nerf the speed like that. You got like
say for the tank, I'm going to give it like literally a 7.5 out of 10. It's not bad. I like it. I mean, granted, yes, a lot of problems, yes, but it's still at the end of the day pretty fun to play. If you got someone that can protect your ass and you hold down just right, you can control a lot of people with this tank, and a lot of people. It makes me even fear if I have to face that if I only have nothing, no big gun to harm this son of a bitch. So, yeah, that's my final rating. Alright, Freddy, that's all three of the tanks.
I mean, yeah, you did pretty good. But only one problem. There is one more bonus tank I left for you.
Wait, what are you talking about? That was the 3 Halloween tanks that came out for multiplayer.
Why don't you take a look?
Oh, no. 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 Not this tank. Any tank review than this. Please. God damn. Oh, no, 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 no. You will die, tank. God damn it. Ah. For those of you who don't know this tank, I'll just show you in the store real quick. This tank is the Ultimate Season Pass. This is the tank that is in the thing right now to buy the Ultimate Edition to get a Tier 9 medium tank. And you're probably thinking to yourself, Fury, what's so bad about it? You just literally get a Tier 9 tank plus the vampire chick in the tank. Wait a minute, vampire chick? When you look at the tank again, why do you have the Valkyrie commander with 9 perks? You're in for a fucking treat, people. You're in for a fucking treat. Oh, God, where do I begin with this? Well, obviously, I have to talk about its armaments before I rip it apart. So, armor-wise, for this medium tank, they call it, has some surprisingly good head armor. It's actually able to bounce certain AP shells. I've seen this thing bounce so much. And the way how you lean the tank up and keep your gun pointing in the air is even more armaments, because the top part is the weak spot where it's angled downward and this one angled upwards, and then you got the red that's literally 215 millimeters of armor. You could just fire all your guns and then look straight up in the air, and not many tanks can pen that underbelly easily unless it's like Hesh. But still, it's rounded slope, well done, and for that type of armaments at least. But the rest is pure fucking crap. It's a light armor. Hull is piece of fucking shit. There is no protection for the hull armor. You get seen in the hull armor, 7s can fucking pen you. Why? Because the strongest part of the tank is 130 millimeters plus angled. So you're talking about probably, I would say, probably 170 millimeters. But even so, with the slope, maybe tigers can have a hard time penning the whole armor frontally, but still, I've I've never seen anyone who bounced off the whole armor. I've seen like many shots bounce off the head, but that's mostly it. But still, that is unbelievably fucking bad. But still, that's good. I would say that. That's good. And that's the sad part is, that's the only part that's good. So let us begin. Because, my goth, I have never seen a tank this bad. Alright, so, Fury, you're probably wondering, what is this? This is a 120 millimeter QF gun from the Brits. So you would think that little small barrel is 120 millimeter, and it does like decent damage. That is not a lot for a tier 9, but then again, it's a medium, right? Well, it's a 4-clip autoloader, meaning like it just has that thing. Now, before you say like, that is good, that is terrifying, Fury. No, no, it is not unless you play it right. This thing has the longest reload in the fucking British arsenal. This thing goes near 50 seconds on its reload if you do not have a good crew. I'm going to repeat myself. 50-second reload if you do not have a good crew.
I mean, for fuck's sake, the long reload is bad enough. Well, just like in the last one, I'm gonna just pull up my phone and watch TikToks while I'm waiting for the goddamn thing to fucking load.
Why? What is with these fucking Brits that say, let's take tanks that look like France, hybrids of these British tanks, and let's put long ass reloads? God. And this is just the little frosting on the cake. This is just the little taste of what is to come with this tank. There's a lot more problems with it. So here's the next one. Accuracy, 0.32. This thing has a horrible aim time. So let me get this straight, Wargaming. You handicap me for giving me the longest reloading British tank medium in their arsenal. And you gave me also a horrible aim time. I don't see nothing wrong with that, audience, do you? I'm just going crazy. You don't see nothing wrong with that. You don't see fucking nothing wrong with that. It's bad enough. 50-second reload versus aim time. You forcibly have to play this tank one role or two roles only. Flanking support with people or sniping, which is the main thing everybody should be doing in this tank. And it's just humorously bad. And it's just so... Like I said, this is just the beginning. Oh no, we're not done yet. We're not done with this thing. So, not only that, you have damage of 360. I usually roll like 320 or 186 as average. That's not a lot. So basically, you can't kill a tier 9 on a full clip. So, it's bad enough you have a 50-second reload, you can't kill a tier 9 in a full clip. Because, why? Because if you look at the ammunition and penning pretty soon, you would say, it's the same pen for certain distance, Fury. What's the problem? Well, it's heat. And most wargaming people that know this is rolling their eyes, getting upset about it, or you're probably scratching your head saying, well, that's not bad. Well, again, what I told you about death, heat has a hard time shooting long range at people, meaning that the longer range you shoot with heat and hits a target, and if it's not flat enough or weak enough, it will desorb it because it can't pen that. Now, 268, that's not a bad penning thing, but with horrible aim time and reloading so bad, you see where I'm getting at, where there's a major problem with this? It's called trying to aim at certain weak spots. And do you want to know how of a nightmare that is? It's a god-awful big fucking nightmare.
Because if you actually look at the loadout, if I can get to the damn screen because I'm so flustered, it's 463 of viewing range. The spider that I just reviewed in the very, very beginning has more view range than this tank. What? You mean to tell me a tank that has long reloading, not good aim time, fucking pens sometimes are mediocre, aim time is bad, and you're telling me I have no thing to see, and concealment is not that great either? I mean, wow. How can this get any worse? Can the single range do something? Oh, sweet Jesus, it can. So 816.10 is good. So, bottom line is, if you can already tell by this tank play style real quick, it is designed to snipe, but it's also has to have someone constantly spotting shit from 800 meters. Do you see the problem here, audience? And mind you, this is not
what you get when you get the tank for the first time. These are equipment pieces. This is binoculars. This is ventilations. Well, not 50 plus. I got it down to 41 seconds with the good crew and stuff. But think about it. When my reloading was down to was 41.0 seconds to fire this damn thing, this is with a 9 per crew, ventilation, fucking concealment, fucking binoculars, and yet somehow it's worse than the spider. If you don't believe me about the commander, like you saw in the beginning of this, there she is. I put her in it for a temporarily thing, and it look at all those perks I have. Born leader, reloading, sixth sense, fucking aim time, fucking binoculars, mace, fucking snapshot. I know mace is not a perk that works well with this, but I just did it anyways. Snapshot, single range radar thing, and concealment perk. This is the commander that needed it in there, and it still had a problem with it. This beautiful chick with wings, this goddess of queens, can't even make my tank average. That's how bad it is, people. I can't make this tank average with a 9 per crew. At least the spider, I can make it average. So, let's get to the ammunition costs. So, it's obviously it fires 4 shells, so you have to time this by 4. So, basically, one of these shells times the 4 thing, so you got 1,060. Okay, that is your primary thing. We already talked about the pen. It's the same as no matter how far you do. Damage is 360. The speed on it is 793. It's slow. So if you're trying to snipe something, you have to time it perfectly sometimes. So let's look at the premium rounds. This is 4,400 for 4 shots. You are going to go negative very fucking easily, mind you. And you need these rounds because at long range and short range, it's 210. So it's less than that, but this is Hesh, which again, it's armor piercing high explosive. What the Death Star Jr. fires. Yeah, that is useful because you're sitting in the back shooting, you're going to hit them and high explosive them, but you still do damage. Most people use this round, but do you see how much it costs? 4,400. Mind you, aim time again slow. Fucking you have to shoot with this gun, and it's such a pain in the ass to make sure you hit your mark. So I carry a lot of these despite the fact that I lose money. So damage is 490, so it does more damage than the heat rounds. Speed time is the exact same as this, and blast radius 2.42. Now the splash radius is a little bit better, but not great. And then finally, high explosives, which is literally a penetration of 120, which is again not bad for a high explosive I've seen in most tanks. It does 515 max speed. They're basically all the same max speed. And then blast radius 2.42. So same blast radius. So most people are going to assume like the pack's only this. Never mind this. But you're losing so much money per game. You see the problem is, and people are going to say, well, Fury. I mean, do you see the problem here, audience? Just to prove this example, let's get into a game, shall we?
You know, since we're waiting here, hey Freddy, I got a question to ask you. Why do you look like me all the time? You know that's not your face. So why don't you disappear back to your face? Why do you keep showing my face?
Why am I looking like you? Well, gee, I always take on the appearance of the most disgusting, vile person ever seen on the face of YouTube.
Oh, hardy har, you goddamn jokester motherfucker.
So here we are in the game. I have tried this so many times to get this playthrough, but this is where I have to show you why I don't like it 100%. Not only does it have that long reload that I don't understand why the Brits always have those long reloads, but the fact is this tank can't really do much you know, to help people. It's literally a sniper, but it's one of those snipers that you'll see what I mean in a minute. So here we are in the Halloween map, and I was shocked because I thought, like, did I accidentally pick the Halloween map? No, this is a legit map you could play on, which is weird because I've never seen multiplayer map where a Halloween map you could play your standard tank into, but you know, whatever. So if in case you're wondering, this is a tier 10 game. I'm trying to stay in the back, trying to, you know, hold down position, trying to be a support role. But the problem is this starting off right here. The aim time is atrocious. This is a 9 per crew that helps me with aim time and concealment. And look, lo and behold, I'm already spotted. Now, thankfully, he hit the strongest part of the turret, which doesn't pen that easily. That's really good. But I just don't like the aim reticle. I mean, yeah, it does a lot of damage if it hits. But again, if you're going to sacrifice me, like I said with the bulldozer scene, take one thing away, not both. So here I am trying to fight at the freaking top half of one of the tanks and completely miss. Aim time is just like I said, it's awful. Now some people did say to me, like when I was talking about this tank when it did release, was saying like, well, Fury, why not just do mid-range fighting in it? Well, that long reload is the bigger problem. Just having 4 shots with a reload like that is atrocious. Now look how long I have to aim. I fired, hit the upper deck on that thing, fired again, okay, then I'm detected, so I fired again. But you see how long it takes? And how easily you can be detectable? Mind you, like I said, I have like a 9 per crew, one of them with a concealment perk, and I had to fix everything else, so I can't make it better, plus camouflage on this tank. And still, if you look on the mini map on the top freaking left, they could still easily detect me. And it's like, are you joking me? And it's such irritating crap. So here I am, about to reload. I'm still reloading, by the way. I'm still reloading, and God, who thought the reloading on this tank was just good? It's not, audience. It's like here I am trying to shoot. Now I got reloaded, but I missed because of the thing. But then I hit him again. Good. But it was just so. And 90% of the game, it's like me hitting, get detected, retreat. That's how you play this thing. It's literally you get detected, you retreat, you retreat. You try to use your surroundings, try to use hold down tactics at long range. It's just annoying to try to make this work. Like I've played literally already like a couple of games in this tank, and I know that's not fair to judge it, but after playing one game with a stock crew of the vampire chick, I had to immediately overthrow her out. Just that 3 perks alone that automatically unlocks didn't help me at all. And like the reloading was bad, aim time was bad, so I had to put a commander in here with a lot of perks, 9 perk crew again, like the spider. And still, unlike the spider, this still suffers heavily. Now here I am bullying the Type 4, which thankfully is flat, but he angled just a slight, and then freaking I can't pen him no more. So that's all 4 shots. I pen him twice, and that was it. And it's just I don't understand. I get it. I should not be criticized. I should be thankful that it's only 6,000 gold. But this is not a fun tank for me. Now, granted, yes, I have seen people play this tank. I have. And they play like, and they do like a lot of damage if no one bothers them. A lot of damage. That's one of the problems, though. Knowing that it does good when nobody bothers it, it's like so freaking hubris to keep it alive. Now, I'm going to be hold down right here. See, what I'm trying to do is use the strongest part of my tank to cover above a Craft Panther's dead tank. Now, I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know there was just a destroyer, but there was other tanks over here. But again, I can't see far. So when you're seeing right now that destroyer and that heavy tank, IS-7 over there, I can't see. This tank needs spotting people, but it's just no one's gonna spot. And I increased the spotting range as far as I can go with it besides the equipment piece. And it's just it's so freaking bad that I'm trying my damn hardest to keep this alive. I've tried sniping with it. I tried brawling with it. I tried maneuvering with it. I tried with friends. Tried with it. It's just, it's so hard to play this damn tank. And don't get me wrong, I get it. It's not going to judge the rating of the view because of my personal thing on it. And I get it, it's a tank reviewer job, but it's just, if only if I can hand you the controller and you play it, and since you're like new to the game and you're like, Ultimate Season Pass, yes, I could skip a couple of stages and new. It's like, oh, what's this? A tier 9? My first ever tier 9. I wonder how good it would be. And if you don't have the proper tools, if you don't have the proper thing, you're just fucked. Now, I'm seeing the IS-7 over there, but he's behind way too much cover, and these shells take forever to fucking reload, that I have no choice but to wait. Wait until I find a target, and boom, I finally found a target. It was IS-7 side armor. I hit him, and it's just, and then he backs off immediately and disappears. The problem is this tank is, I think the number one reason I hated it even more, not only the reloading and all that, it's the fact is this is a tank you have to rely most definitely your blueies. And that's a problem with me because blueies are not reliable. Like, look right there. All the people are dying, and it's only 8 seconds in. You remember tier 10s back in the day where the timer, like, averagely runs out because everybody was playing smart? Here, it's like everybody was dying left and right, left and right. And it was like, it's so dumb. Now, I try to move up to try to hit the IS-7, but again, IS-7's hold down. I can't pen that. So I backed up in a better position to make sure I don't get flanked. And it's just, this is such a shit show. Such a shit show. I'm trying my best to show a good view, but this is 90% of the games I'm in. I try to sit back, wait, take a cup of coffee, and just wait for a target. I can't go out there and support them. As much as how much my team desperately needs me, I can't go out there. That's not what this tank is designed to do. So here I am just sitting here with my thumb up my ass, watching my team die left and right, and you can't do nothing about it. Because if, for example, like I said, if I go out there and try to tackle that IS-7 in a different position, I only got 4 shots. 4 shots. I can't single-handedly kill an IS-7. Means even if all the shots pen, it wouldn't work. Now I saw the IS-7 move, so I'm trying to move up now. Try to get some damage in. Just using the outskirts of the map, staying away from them. So I'm seeing the tank. I'm about to fire, but again, they backed off immediately. Tried to fire, missed. This is the problem I'm saying. This is so fucking dumb. I don't like its aim time. I don't like its concealment rating. I don't like its fucking aim time. I don't like its reloading, definitely. Oh god, it's just, here I am just trying, and I try to shoot this guy, but there was a building in the way, and it hit the house instead, and then I get spotted and instantly got hurt. So here I am going like, oh fuck, I need to get to that Craft Panther. So here I am rushing towards the Craft Panther. Do you see the problem? I get it. It's supposed to be a support role. You're supposed to rely on your team to help. But when your team's like this, I'm sorry. This usually happens 90% of the times in games. Either you steamroll or they get steamrolled. And it's just, it's so fucking dumb to deal with this type of gameplay. It's just, and here I am, got a Skoda fucking T50 on my side, and I'm like, great, now I'm in a position I didn't want to be. Because if, like, for example, let's pause this for a minute. See where I am? Like, obviously, let's just do this math. This is a huge problem. There's no cover. There's no anything like that. If only if I had enough view range, I can sit back here and block my side with the church and frontally with the frontal part. But here, I had to move up because all my scouters were dead. This tank had horrible detecting range. Ugh. So here I am backing up. Skoda's been detected, but the Bat Chat died. Our last tank's about to die. Like, I'm trying to look at all these other ones. I don't know why it keeps showing the enemy tanks. I don't care about the enemy tanks. Hang on. Pause it for a minute. Why are we looking at the enemy tanks? Give me a few seconds. There we go. I don't know why it did that. So here I am, aiming in, and then I lost my last tank. Now, granted, I don't see that medium. I don't know why it's showing that, but I saw the Skoda, and I was going to shot one more shot, and then dead. Already got me. This... I ran out of ammo, too. I had to use premium ammo. Now, people always say, well, just use premium ammo, Fury. That way you have a better chance of hitting them with anything. But that is not the point of a premium vehicle. You're supposed to make money. You're supposed to train crews. I get to say this over and over again in every fucking tank review. It's not meant to fire just straight up premium. You're supposed to make money in it. And here, just using normal rounds, it's fucking hard to. Let's just go to the rewards. So you can see here, audience, I made no money. Hell, I lost money. And this was a common occurrence every time I played the Cobra. Now, I know all of you are going to say in the comments, there's people that done way better than me. There's people that actually play aggressive sometimes. Some people that actually snipe and use teamwork better. But every time I tried that, it was always this result. Relying on team for tanks, in my opinion, are the worst tanks to play because of how many people die. Now, granted, if I had buddies that helped me spot shit, yeah, I would be probably better. But the reloading would be taking forever. The aim time takes forever. It's just horrible in that situation. So even though I did that much damage, lost that much credits, and only did block one shell, I still did better than... I still got in third place. I mean, the bad chats, yeah, they did better, but apparently I got in third place out of all the other tanks on my team, so... I must have did something right in that game, because obviously I fucking did something good. So, let's go back to the final verdict. So, final verdict of this tank, the Cobra. Oh boy, this is going to be one of the toughest. Because granted, I've seen people did really fucking good in this tank. Really fucking good. And I've seen people did horrible in this tank. And I don't know where to cross the line between this. This is the first ever tank that had 5 major problems with it to where I don't know where to fix it. Usually, like I said before, and I'm going to say it again, usually when I play tanks, there's usually only 2 or 3 problems. You can usually fix them if you balance them out. That's how the game works. If you balance out what needs to be fixed, it would work. However, when you got a tank that has reload problems, detectability problems, camouflage problem, reloading problem, fucking shooting with aim time problem. How do you fix something like that? Like, I know I said it already, but how do you fix a tank that has 5 major problems? And look at all that up there. Screen, all that, camouflage, binoculars, ventilations, fucking a commander with 9 perks. 9 perks! And I still can't fix this damn thing. It is unbelievable bad. But that's just my opinion, because I've seen people roll 7,500 damage in this tank. I've seen people done really good with this tank. But again, I don't know what they're doing. I flank, brawl, support, stay with people, snipe from the back. I don't know what else to say. I don't even know how to properly play it, and I've been playing this since it came out, and it's such a hard tank to play. But I am going to be a fair and decent person to rate this. So you really want to know my rating of this? You really want to know? It's a 5 out of 10. It is average. And you're probably like saying, what? How? How is it average, Fury? That makes no sense. You said everything else bad about it. Yes, but it's still a playable tank at the end of the day. It still can pen some tanks. It's still decently good at penning sometimes. I just don't like it in particular, yes. But being a tank reviewer, I have to put my personal opinions aside. Because if this was me, I would give it a 1. But for an average tank player, for 6,000 gold, mind you, that's cost 6,000 gold and a commander and all that, I say it's average. I mean, it's a fair price for it and everything else, but it's just, God, the amount of things you have to fix it with. But I've played shittier tanks than this. Believe it or not, I've played shittier tanks than this. I've played the fucking British reloading one, not this one. Where's that? This one. I played this one, and I thought it was garbage, and starting to get okay with it, but it's still a problem. I played shittier tanks that can't pen its own tier, like the Valkyrie. I can't do shit in that one. I played many other awful tanks. I've even played this tank that has no armaments or whatsoever and still do okay in it. The bottom line is, there is never going to be probably a tank that's going to be below 1 out of 10 or anything like that. If anything, if it makes you pay a lot of money for nothing and can't do anything, yeah, that would be a bitch to do. But here, I can understand it. This is a real tank for challengers, and I respect you if you like it, because I don't blame you, because it's just, I have so many other tanks besides this that I want to enjoy. So, yeah, that's it. That's my final verdict, and happy Halloween, guys. Hope you have a good one.
That's all done.
What? What? You mean to tell me this piece of shit tank that I gave you for fear, you're giving an average rating? What the frickety fuck is this? And I thought Elm Street bitches were hard to deal with. Now I gotta deal with this shit? How the hell do you find this average? God damn it, son of a... You know what? You're dead now. I don't give a shit. You're fucking dead. What the fuck is so funny? Well, ain't that a bitch?
What's the matter, Freddy? Has the German got your tongue? Now.
What did you do to me?
You and I have a discussion to talk about.
Release my hand, you fucking sauerkraut!
Come, my dear friend. You knew it was inevitable that I would find you. Especially when I need something from you.
Just let me go and let me fight you. Then I'll slap you harder like Stalin did.
You know, it's funny. I've seen mankind treat us like we are monsters, abominations of their own society. But many don't even realize how much the German people have changed the world to let humanity thrive bigger with the chemicals and stuff that we Germans have created.
Made in China. Fucking bullshit.
Just to talk about that anymore, dear Freddy. No, they see only Germans as monsters, barbaric creatures that should be blown off the face of the earth. But yet, who are the monsters themselves, when their own people have done darker things than we ever did?
I feel like I'm back in fucking school again listening to you. God, I have more entertainment than listening to a Nazi that you guys have.
Silence!
No! I will not be discriminated by those monster barbarian fucking people. The Nazis are not one of us. And I thought that bitch at Crystal Meth Lake fucking was the biggest bitch. Don't you understand why I get so irritated with people nowadays? You can't even enjoy pridefulness anymore without being criticized anymore. You can't even enjoy who you are without people fucking around with you, saying that you're nothing but a sauerkraut, loser, and a freaking nobody. Nobody can even be prideful anymore of being a true German. And you still got my hand fucking frozen.
Nobody understands. Trying to make the world better. You think all of us Germans wanted war? Did you think all of us wanted this conflict, Freddy? We were forced, like any other. I'm gonna change that with your help, Freddy.
What, you want me to finance you? Help you with your finance? Here, let me see. You know this would be a lot fucking easier if you let my hand on it frozen, you motherfucker. Let's see here. Eyeball, finger from a teenager, no. Oh yeah, that's right. I left my bank card in the other hell portal up. I don't give a fuck!
You see, I have an interesting ability from Will. Thanks to the power of the staff, I'm able to take people's abilities and turn them into my own. I've already got a few handful for my brothers.
Where are you taking me? Wait.
Do you fear death, Freddy?
You know, that's usually my line to do the puns, you know, from other movies.
You don't have to answer. Your face shows it, Freddy. How does it feel, Freddy, after all these years of fearing and showing fear to others? How does it feel when your fear comes to you?
You know what I think of your frickin' me fearing you? Oh, right. My hand's frozen. Well, let's just say I will give something a little bit of the air for you.
But it doesn't matter now. Now we are one.
Don't touch me with your wiener schnitzels!
Oh yes. The power of nightmare and dreamwalking. Everything is starting to come into fruition. Don't think I don't notice you watching, viewer. But don't worry. Everything will be fine. History may be a little bit written in different categories. Written in my way.